everything's gonna come flying off this dresser. I don't know if you can hear me over my music. My apologies for how I look this morning. I'm putting makeup on for the first time in probably a couple months. I know the lighting's very white, but I'm kind of in a rush. Well, not really, but I gotta hurry up. Today I'm going to an appointment for mental health. I'm going to see somebody to get on new medication for anxiety, which is a huge step, so congrats to me. So I booked this appointment, as you saw in my, I think I posted it, my last video, when I made the phone call, which was brutal. I hate talking on the phone. Don't ask me why. This is very, nothing's gonna look great here. I hate talking on the phone. It's another, not symptom of anxiety, but because of anxiety. I'm excited, I guess. I really do have the want to just better myself, which is another win, because I wouldn't even have entertained this idea like last year. I mentioned this before, but I did have an appointment last year, and I just flaked and ended up not going. Which, if I, for whatever reason, didn't go today, I guess I wouldn't feel as bad because I self-referred myself, which also got me in quicker. So if you're having trouble trying to get in to see someone, if you can refer yourself and not have to go through like a family doctor, I recommend it. Because had I gone through my family doctor, I probably would have had to wait like 3 or 4 months, and I had to wait 3 weeks, I think. I took half of a lorazepam, so I'm hoping that calms the nerves a little. Also, Mom's not going with me today, which also is a huge step, because even though I'm 26 years old, she was like even coming to family doctor's appointments with me. I don't want to get copyrighted. And even actually the last time, one of the last couple times I was at my family doctor, my doctor even said to my mom, like, you know, Kayla can come in here by herself. And she's like, yep, I know. I could go and make a whole other video about my family doctor. It's nothing like bashing her. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into it. Also, I have a tip to anybody if you're like me, where you kind of get like shaky and maybe stumble over your words when you are anxious or have to talk to somebody or go see somebody. I recommend taking gum with you. I've noticed the last couple times, even when I've gone on walks with my dog, one of the like things anxiety makes me feel like everybody's watching me or judging me, when I know people probably don't even notice me. Like, I know they're not. Maybe some people are, but whatever. It helps if I have gum, because it like takes my mind off of my thoughts, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna take gum with me. I also have this like deep-rooted issue with feeling like I can't do anything unless somebody's with me. Like, I was coming out of the liquor store like a month ago, and I literally thought I was gonna fall in the parking lot. And it probably didn't look that way, because Mom says like when I'm that bad you can't even, like, you can't tell. But I literally thought I was gonna, oh my god, my neighbor and their noisy ass car. But I guess I can like hide it very well, which makes me feel a little better. But I literally thought I was going to fall in the parking lot, and like anxiety is mental, but it affects you so much physically. Mom came in to tell me she was like done in the bathroom because I had to get in the shower. She came in, I was like, I'm awake. She's like, I know, I was just saying I was done. And she said, good luck. Into this place before, so had I not been, I probably would have like had mom miss like work this morning to go with me, which I know how like not normal that is. But I've been going to this place on and off since I was like 12 or 13, so I know my way around the building. I'm familiar with the people. I know what to expect. So I guess that eases the anxiety of it all. I need a sharpener, but I do not have time to do that right now. I would say for the most part I'm pretty like high functioning, which is why I think a lot of the time certain people like don't believe that I'm like as severe as I can be sometimes, because I can do other things. I've had family say if Kayla was as sick as she says she is, then she wouldn't be able to do A, B, and C, and it's like, that's literally like what anxiety is. You can do certain things and you can't do others, depending on how it affects you that day. I'm just excited to get in there and kind of get it over with. Plus it's Friday, so it's funny, I've always told mom like I feel the same relief when it's Friday that like a person who's worked a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday would feel. Oh my god, I'm getting mascara everywhere because I'm shaky. Which is funny because like you would think every day is like a Friday to me because I don't work. Which is also a video I can do if anybody's interested in that. It would have to be like a whole video. I couldn't just tell you right now why I don't work. Why are we so zoomed in? I want to say I'm nervous, but I don't want to even acknowledge my own thoughts. Mom sits on the ceiling of her car, so I have to pump the seat down every time I get in here. We can do this. You are strong. You can do this. It's just another day. It's so funny. I think like, oh my god, like I'm so nervous. And for what? It's literally the one place. You're going to a mental health facility for anxiety medication. So you're kind of allowed to have it. Oh shoot. Well, this is a first. I have a few minutes before I can go in. And there's nobody here, which is a little odd. I thought it said the doors were locked over there, but the doors are locked after 5 p.m. Take a breath and get myself situated before I go in. Very weird being here again. My hair looks super brown today. I'm going to get it done on, what day is it? Next Thursday on the 1st. I'm gonna get it really blonde. I don't know if you can catch it in my videos, but like if I am anxious and I go to like tuck my hair behind my ears, I'm shaking and dying on the inside, but you probably can't tell. Anyway, here's to healing. And hopefully nobody is watching me film from inside their offices, so I will let you know how it goes when I'm done. So thanks for coming along. I am so fucking nervous I want to die, but oh, I survived. I did it. I'm kind of surprised because I was late. I wasn't late. I got there like 15 minutes early, which never happens. I made sure to give myself some time, so I wasn't going in there all discombobulated and could catch my breath, literally. So where I used to go, they changed it. I thought it was like, I knew you'd go to like maybe a different person or a different floor for adult mental health because I'm not a minor anymore. I guess once you're over the age of 18, then you're adult mental health. So I went to the wrong building. I had to go, and of course I had to go into parking, and you have to pay $2 to get out. I mean, you don't have to. If you don't have it, they're gonna let you out. And I never carried cash on me ever, so thankfully Mom had a toonie in her car. A lot of people, my friend works at the hospital, and she said everybody just lies because pay $2 every time, it adds up. Anyway, I just drove by the store coming up the street, and my dad was there, so if he comes to the driveway and sees that I'm home, he's gonna want to know how it went, so I want to finish this. Well, I still have my thoughts. She was a little hard to understand at first, obviously the mask, and she has a bit of an accent. She was very nice, and I guess I'm not used to, like, the other psychiatrists that I have seen, like, you go in and they ask you a question and then it's write you a prescription and then you're off to the races, and like, it's just, I felt like she really wanted to kind of get to, like, not the root of the issue, but kind of get a grasp on who I was and how it affects my day-to-day life more than just like slapping a band-aid on it. Not that medication, I'm not saying that medication is a band-aid for things, but I do think my opinions have definitely changed. I do think medication can be a band-aid for certain situations and certain people, and she strongly suggested therapy, and she was quite disappointed when I said no, but she was like, I totally, like, it's your choice, whatever you feel is best for you. So she said, but if you change your mind, it's here, you can go to therapy if you like. And she was kind of like out of options because I've been on so many medications. Oh, there's Dad. The last couple of years. That I've kind of tried a lot. So I was explaining to her about the side effects from the Lexapro that I started taking the end of 2018 to about the end of 2019 and how much weight I gained. And she was like, there's not, like, weight gain is not really a side effect of Lexapro and what were you on, and it's very rare if it does happen. And I was just like, I gained 30 pounds. Dad doesn't see me. I had 30 pounds while I was on that medication, and while I know my eating habits weren't the best, like, before I started that medication, I could eat whatever I wanted. Mind you, I was not small. I was like 135 to 140 pounds. But I could get away with it like I was a normal weight. And I don't know if it's just because I'm aging or what, but I'm not the only one. Like, if I was the only one saying this, I could understand how she would think that the weight gain has nothing to do with the medication. But I'm in a support group on Facebook for Lexapro, and apparently how awful it is, or how awful it's been to other people, especially people in the UK. There's a lot of people in that group from there. And they all said this medication was the best, and it really was working for me so well. And had the weight gain not been an issue, I would still be on it, which is so frustrating. And I know there's people that are probably like, well, like, eat right and exercise and you'll lose the weight. No, it's very hard for me to lose weight. I can gain 10 pounds from eating a cracker. Like, it's always been that way for me. So I've always had issues with my weight, and I've always had like self-confidence issues, and weight has always been a touchy subject. So I even told her, I said, I know I agree with you. Normally I wouldn't like believe that medication would cause that much weight gain in that short amount of time, but I'm not the only one who's it affected. It's affected like thousands of other people. So I mean, it's not just, you know, it's not just in my head. So she put me on oh, this is what I was also gonna say. When she suggested therapy instead of medication, I was kind of taken back, because I feel like, at least with my family doctor, she's never been somebody, and I'm not bad mouthing her, I just think she has so many patients that she kind of have the time of day for you, which isn't fair to patients. I know she's probably just drowning in her work, especially with COVID, and she is trying to have somebody take her place so she can retire. I just feel like my family doctor and the other psychiatrists I have seen, which have been a handful over the last like 10 years, are just, I don't want to cry. Are just very quick to write prescriptions and not listen to what you have to say, or like what's going on with you internally and mentally. And I just feel like she made me feel heard, which is really nice. Because the last psychiatrist I went to see, and it wasn't just me, Mom did not like him at all. Appointment I went to, because he was filling, I think he was filling me my lorazepam prescription. Like, if I wanted it refilled through him, I had to go like every time and do like a med check-in and see how I was, to see if he needed to alter medications. And he was like, yeah, so like, in a few years from now, you'll go out into the world and get a job like the rest of us and be on your way. Like, literally those were his words. And Mom looked at me and I looked at her, and it was just like, what? Like, not that he was wrong, but it was just like, I don't know how to explain it. We were both so taken back. Like, that was just his ignorant approach and like choice of words. It was just, anyway, I didn't go back after for obvious reasons, and there was more to it than that. Like, I could do a whole video, but I question sometimes how people are in the line of work that they are in, and it's not me being like, oh, he was mean to me and he shouldn't have that job. Like, that's not where my reasonings are. I think even like people in the service industry, like, I went into a store, I'm not gonna name it, and this cashier, I walked up to the cash and I said, hi, how are you? Like, I interact, I be friendly. And this was before COVID, I believe. Not that that's an excuse. And the girl didn't say anything to me. She told me my total, and I put the stuff in my bag and I said, have a nice day, and she said nothing. And I understand that people can have bad days, but like, when it's your job to interact with the public, like, put on a front, put on a face. Don't have a stick up your butt. Yeah, and the thought of therapy, like, when she suggested that, like, I could just feel my face drop, that pit in my stomach where I was like, get it together, we are not crying here today. I don't think there's anything wrong with therapy, and I think it is very beneficial to some people, and it is life-saving people. I'm just not there yet. I'm excited to try new medication, but I'm also nervous because, like, my non-doctor brain can't wrap my head around the fact that the medication they gave me is also used to treat like epilepsy and pain management for diabetics, and to help people like stop drinking, smoking, and anxiety, general anxiety disorder. So I was surprised for her to hear her say though that she considers my anxiety not severe, which to me, I was like, it's not severe. Yeah, it's severe. Like, I don't work. She was asking how I feel about social situations, and I was telling her how, like, if a friend was to text me like, hey, like, do you want to go get lunch right now, and like it wasn't planned, like a few hours before, I didn't know about it, like, to be spontaneous like that way, I'm very hesitant, and reason for it. Like, there's not one reason where I'm like, oh, I'm scared this is gonna happen, or but what if this happens, or like, there's nothing that, there's no thought that would make you say, oh, okay, I can see why you're nervous. But that's like what anxiety is. At least that's what it is for me in my understanding. There doesn't always have to be something that triggers it. It's just kind of there. And she was like asking me when I had my last panic attack, and I told her like last summer, four-wheeling down at our cottage, and I was gone for like 3 or 4 hours, and the trail that I was on is super like windy and turny. So when I got back on the highway to drive home, I had that motion. It's like being on a boat or like swim, feel the waves like after you've been on it for hours. So it was like that feeling, and I just got like super dizzy and like worked myself into a panic attack, and I had to stop on the side of the highway, and I called mom crying, and I was like, you might have to come pick me up. And I was like 40 minutes from home. Very scary. Anyway, but there's no one thought or one thing that triggers me to feel anxious, which is why it's so maddening and frustrating, because I feel like people would have a better understanding or would accept it more. Like people that, like my grandmother, like she hates airplanes. She was on one once in her life because her daughter is a flight attendant for Air Canada. Got her on a plane, they flew to Montreal for lunch, and she would have to be like severely drugged up or drunk to even get on a plane. And it's because she's claustrophobic, and she feels like, well, if she has a panic attack, like she can't get out. You can't get off a plane until you land. So it's those type of things where I feel like society would be more like accepting of, oh, I can see why that would make you anxious or that would give you anxiety. But for me, there's nothing that I can pinpoint when I get anxious that it's like, oh, well, that makes sense. So it's like, why am I anxious? Like, where is it coming from? It's so frustrating. But that's like what anxiety is. So even though I'm not having like a panic attack right here in this car talking to you, the anxiety's still there. Like, it's always, I wish I had a good analogy. I'm trying to think of one. Like, even though I'm not having a panic attack and I'm not anxious right now, like, I still have an anxiety disorder. Does that make sense? This is gonna sound really, really stupid right now. It's like, just because there's sharks in the water doesn't mean they're gonna attack you. Does that make any sense at all? Like, even though they're not going to attack you, they're always just there lurking. Like, that's what anxiety is. Does that make any sense, or am I actually such an airhead? She also asked too, it was so funny. So any of you that know me know, like, I have never dated anybody. I've never had a boyfriend. And I'm outing myself right now. I don't care. She's like, so have you ever had a boyfriend? And I said, no. She goes, never? I said, no. And she goes, have you ever had sexual contact with somebody? And I was like, yes. And she was like, okay. And we both kind of laughed. I don't even know if that was appropriate for her to ask, but I guess I don't mind, but I guess she's just trying to get a grasp on like who I am and my day-to-day life. And I was telling her how I watch the neighbor's dog 3 times a week. Oh, did she text me? Well, it's not even time yet. Now, when I was younger, I really wanted to work at a nursing home. I remember when I had relatives in there, like, I loved going in and talking to other residents, and like seeing if they needed help like eating their supper, or like, you know, I'd go over and sit, not something that like 8-year-old would typically do. And I like looking after people, and I feel like I'm like good at it. So and I feel like it would be easier to manage my anxiety while working if it was with the elderly, because I don't know, I mean, you're working amongst other people my age and older, but as co-workers, but like having my mind focused on that, maybe I will do it. I don't know. I have to get my GED and finish that. I did leave high school in grade 10 because I could not function. It wasn't even just at school, it was day-to-day things. I couldn't go into a store, I couldn't get myself out of bed, I was confined to my room. So like, I'm doing a lot better. I am considered high functioning, but I just can't work. So if you want like the whole story about why I can't work, it's nothing like, there's no tea, it's just like a long story, and it would take a whole video to explain. Pregabalin? If any of you have ever been on it, I'd love to hear if it's worked for you or the side effects. I think she knew how afraid I was of gaining more weight from a medication, because there are some medications that can make you like gain weight. She was going through a list of medications that she could try. There was one, she said, if you miss a day or you try to come off of it like cold turkey, it's gonna screw you up. She said the side effects are so horrible, and she's like, I really don't think you don't really need to go on that. And she said if you were to like taper off of it, you have to go to your doctor and they have to help you with it, because apparently it's awful. And I was like, we are not doing that. It's so funny though when they talk about lorazepam. So I'm on lorazepam. I had a prescription from my doctor and I take it when I need it. And it's great. I took half a pill, so like 0.5 milligrams before I went to my appointment, and it really just, I don't know how to explain it. Like, all I can think, like, correlate it with is like maybe having, like, if you're nervous and you're going into a crowd, it's like having a can of beer before. But it does make you tired. If I were to take a full one, like, I'm gonna go in and have coffee and breakfast because I didn't have that yet today. But if I were to take a full one, I would come home and about in an hour, I would like crash. It makes you so tired. So they're always like, well, if you take it, you can't drive with it. And it's like, I've driven, I'm fine, because I'm used to it now. But like, if you've never taken it before and then you go to take it, I wouldn't recommend that you drive, because you do get quite tired. But yeah, it's a huge step for me to have gone and to have kept this appointment and not canceled or flaked out. And there was 3 or 4 other women in the waiting room, so I'm not the only one. And I know there's a lot more people than you think that are having mental health issues and that are on medication that you wouldn't even think. And there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, you have to manage and live your life whatever way that may look like to you. Like, I'm not dissing medication, I'm not dissing therapy. Like, someone in my family, I'm not going to mention who in case they don't want their information out, but has been on antidepressants for their entire life, and they literally could not function without them. Like, they are surviving because of it, and I think that's a great thing. But I hope, for me personally, that I can get to a place where one day I won't need medication, and that's just a personal want and a personal opinion for myself. Because I think there are things that you can heal from mentally if you really put in the work. And it may take you 26 years to figure that out, or 40 years, or whatever it is you're going through. Like, I do think we can all, most of us can get to the root of whatever's going on and then heal from that. Because I never had the belief of, like, I won't be able to live without medication, or I won't ever have anything of my own, or an apartment of my own, or like a normal like life where I can exist and be a part of society. So now that like I'm having those beliefs, like I do think it's something that I will be able to heal from eventually, or at least try. Like, I wouldn't have entertained this idea at all like 2 years ago. Like, so I think that in of itself is progress, and that should be celebrated. So I urge you, if you're struggling, to seek help, whatever that may look like for you. If it's a doctor, if it's therapy, medication, if it's taking more time for yourself during the day, like really looking after yourself. Yeah. So that's all I have to say, and I dropped my prescription off and they're gonna text me when it's ready. So here's to maybe a normal future, or better. We'll say better. There's no such thing as normal. Except for the cycle on your washing machine. Really, there's no such thing as normal. So I'm proud of myself, and you should be proud of yourself. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Yay me! We did it! Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good weekend, and I hope you can get to a place where you can heal from the things that are interrupting your life and not allowing you to live a normal life, because you deserve it. Bye.